No one chooses addiction. It's a complex health condition. And when people have other health conditions, we show up, we help out. Addiction is no different. Make the connection, have the conversation, stop the stigma.
We go to Qatar. And a man that knows all about wearing Canadian colors, and you know him from Whitecaps colors as well. Tosaint Ricketts joins us here on Sekeres and Price. We're going to have you on, Toss, before every Canadian match. Hopefully it's for 4 matches or 5, but we know you're going to join us, a few times at the very least. First of all, welcome to the show, and how have your first few days there been in Qatar?
Quite the experience. Thanks for having me, by the way, but it's been quite the experience. People are filtering in, now that the tournament has started, the buzz is there. You walk through the streets, you see groups of different nations, celebrating their colors, celebrating their teams. It's a very, very, very nice experience, and one that I'm happy to be here and experience.
Well, the soccer has now started, and we have our first huge upset of the tournament. We haven't had many real crackers. I didn't mind that American game, to be honest, and from an entertainment standpoint as well. But what have you made so far of the quality of play, and of course what we saw in the Saudi and Argentina?
Well, the first 2 games, I ran as well. The tournament started off as expected, 2 lower teams lose, but this Argentina-Saudi Arabia game really shook things up. And, to see the little goat go down like that, it was tough. But, now it puts pressure on that group. It puts pressure on Argentina. And now they need to get wins. They need to get points to make it through. So it's exciting. And this is what you want from a World Cup.
For those who missed it, Toss, they were plus 1,700. This was a gargantuan upset. They're saying maybe the biggest in the history of the tournament. How did Saudi Arabia do it?
Honestly, I watched the game from minute 1. They were excellent. They had that risky high line. They went for it. And that's what you want. You don't want to sit back and absorb for 90 minutes to just only concede in the final minutes. They went for it, and they were aggressive. They were fast. They were confident. They were fearless. And, if you put in that performance and you really believe in yourself and believe in your capabilities, you beat anyone. That's football.
Yeah. One goal changes a game, and one goal certainly changed that one. Let's move on to Canada, Toss. If you're in John Herdman's shoes, if you're doing the strategy tomorrow against mighty Belgium, do you do just that, what you said? The Saudi model, go, push, see if you can score a goal, put them on their heels? Or how do you expect Canada to play? How do you think they will play tomorrow?
It's the blueprint now, right? You even seen it with Tunisia. They played fantastic versus Denmark. And these are teams like Tunisia's ranked 31. Saudi Arabia's ranked in above 50. And they're beating teams at the top 10, top 20. So blueprint is go for it. Don't be scared. Don't sit back. Use your assets. For Canada, it's our speed. It's our counterattack. It's our physicality. And go for it. And I'm hoping that the Canadian team, the Canadian boys go for it, and John Herdman tells his boys.
Yeah, I don't think that anybody wants them not to use the speed, but do you rope-a-dope them a little bit? Do you be compact defensively and then track meet it? Or do you just continually press, continually
you got to, obviously, you can't press for 90 minutes, but you got to pick and choose your moments. Maybe in the first 15, 20, 30 minutes, you really go after them, but then what's most important, what I seen from Tunisia today, was that they were defensively, they were tactically disciplined and tactically sound. When they dropped as a group, they stayed compact, and they really put on a good performance defensively. And I think if Canada and John Herdman watch these games, there's a lot to learn from those and the results they got today.
In a lot of ways, does that put the pressure, as much as we hope and want to see Davies and Buchanan and David, and Eustachio sort of be what we have dreamt of them to be on this stage, really is the most pressure and the spotlight on Vittoria and Kamal Miller maybe on the back line there for them to raise their game to the level where they're going to be calm enough in front of Milan Borjan and keep that 18-yard box safe for Canada?
There's no got to be realistic here. Our back line is not the strongest part of the Canadian team, but they've been good. They've been solid. That spine that Canada has been consistent through Victoria, and then Atiba and Eustachio leading right up to Jonathan David, and obviously Milan in the net. So I'm just hoping that we pick our moments, counterattack, but when we do set up and we do have to defend, we defending a tight, compact block. So pressure's on for everyone. I mean, pressure's on for Victoria, pressure's on for Alfonso because he's the star. He has to score goals. And Jonathan David, he is the outright goal scorer for this team. The pressure's on as well. Will he get Canada goal? We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you step out onto the pitch at a World Cup game, the pressure's on everybody. The eyes of the world are on you. You're a standalone match that the world is watching. Look, Fonzie has said he's healthy, Toss. John Herdman's been a little bit coy with it.
Yeah.
What do you expect from him tomorrow? Do you think he's playing the full 90? Do you think he is playing a portion of the game tomorrow? Is there any kind of sense in resting Alfonso because you got to get the Croatia game?
I mean, after that Belgium friendly and seeing the way they went down, I'm feeling like Belgium's the game that we can get points. Whether it's a win or a tie, I feel that's the game. And if Fonzie says he's ready, and if John said he hit his top speeds today in training, put the kid out there, let him play, see what he can do. Preferably, I say play him in his natural position so he's not, just mentally doing things that he's not accustomed to. Put him on left wing back, let him run up and down the line, let him drift and do whatever, and just be Alfonso for us.
How do you think the rest of them and the Champions League guys, and there's a handful, thankfully, there's actually a handful of Canadian Champions League guys now that maybe they can draw upon that experience to calm the nerves a little bit. What do you think, facing De Bruyne too? Like, you've got a brand name in your first match here for these Canadian players. For those non-Champions League guys, what's it like? Alistair Johnston, he's going to be face-to-face with Kevin De Bruyne. Like, how does he reconcile that here in match number one?
Normally, I would say it's a shock, but in MLS, these big name players filter through. You see the likes of Insigne, you see Gonzalo Higuain, you see Zlatan, you've seen all these guys come here. So I don't think a guy like Alistair is going to be starstruck over these players or be so intimidated. But he's definitely going to have to rely on the experience of Eustáquio, Hutchinson, Alfonso, Johnny David, these guys who are playing in Europa and Champions League and performing and getting results. So they're definitely going to rely on those guys to lead the way. But I don't think Alistair's scared. I mean, by the way he talks, he fears no one. So, and that goes.
Can ignorance be bliss too? Like we see this all the time in like NCAA March Madness, where like that little tiny school doesn't know any better, so they go and beat Duke or whoever. Could that happen sort of here, where you don't care, you don't know any better, so you go out there and you play kind of loose?
Saudi Arabia just beat Argentina. So yeah, it's bliss.
Absolutely.
And that's the blueprint right there. Watch those guys, see the effort, the desire, the will, the passion that they showed through 90 minutes. They ran themselves ragged. I was looking at these guys, I'm like, how are they still running? And look at the goal that was produced on the second one. Unbelievable. So just be confident, be fearless. They preach it all the time. These Canadian boys are constantly preaching fearlessness. Now it's time to show it tomorrow.
Well, speaking of all those qualities, my man, 61 caps for you at the senior international level, 17 goals. Toss, I just want to know what it's like as somebody who was there during the tougher times and helped build the program to where it is today. What's it like to be at a World Cup in your Canada jersey there and watching our nation get the sort of spotlight that it's going to get tomorrow?
It just seems long overdue, 36 years. I mean, I've put in a lot of my life into this program, and it's given me a lot back too. I've had some dark days where, I've had club issues, and the national team was always that consistent thing in my life, always calling me up, always getting that time with the boys. And just, I've been to a few trainings, obviously with TSN and doing that part of the media side of it. But just to be here and talk with the guys, talk with John Herdman, and just see the look on their eyes, they're all it still hasn't fully sunk in for them. And, these guys are my friends. These guys are my brothers. These guys are my teammates, ex-teammates, and to see their dreams come true, it makes everything I've done in the past worth it. And I'm just so proud of them. And I just hope Canada feels the same way.
I hope they're happy to see you guys around too, because some of the builders, TSN's brought a couple of them onto the panel. Obviously, I hope they give you a little salute when you're poking around training.
Of course, we got our time to mix and mingle, but it's just good vibes all around. Everyone's happy to be here. The vibes are excellent, and me and Julie panel, like that's our platform to really push these guys and let the Canadian fans know, like, these kids are special and they're doing things that a lot of people weren't able to.
Toss, thanks for doing this. Appreciate it. Friday we'll do it again and preview match number 2, and we'll have some sample size to work with a little bit on what this team looks like after match number 1. Enjoy it. You deserve to bask in the glow here, and we're all excited.
Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for having me.